Over the last few weeks we have had the privilege to see and hear 5 one-hour-long TV programmes on the subject of humans, the universe and science, presented by Professor Brian Cox. By the last few weeks I mean October, November 2014 CE, if you're watching this video well into the future from that time. Professor Cox appears to be a hopeless romantic. I say this not because I actually know the guy, but because, number one, the way he comes across in the many books and programmes he has written and made, and number two, the way he interprets the world through rose-tinted scientific spectacles. The description hopeless applies to the way in which he thinks that only science can provide the human race with a future. A temporary future maybe, in the sense that whenever I go to the doctor or go into hospital, I know that science will attempt to make me better or improve my prospects for living a few more years. But all the science of medical science is not going to stop me from eventually dying, is it? The same is true of planet Earth. In spite of all its wonders and discoveries, science is a temporary fix for everything, and it will never stop the demise of Earth when the sun starts to change into a red giant, and then into a supernova. And then what? Stardust? A black hole? So the programmes were a little short on reality, and more focused on exotic locations, impressive machinery and facial close-ups. But that's TV for you. There must be drama and good photo shots, otherwise it isn't good TV. The reality is that in spite of his impressive qualifications and knowledge, Professor Cox misses the point. He is unable to answer at least 4 of the 5 questions which he poses, and seems to be quite happy that he is unable, or that science is unable. Hence my description, romantic, and the adjective, hopeless. What has he actually achieved? Not very much in my opinion, apart from keeping the public informed of scientific progress and a few more £1,000 in the bank, on top of his already substantial university salary. In the meantime, the rest of humanity continues on its steady downward spiral of social crises, political unrest, economic meltdown, Ebola outbreaks, floods, earthquakes, nuclear disasters, terrorism and war. Even the 5 questions were incomplete. We really need a 6th. Can science save us from the end of the world? Apart from the fact that it may even cause the end of the world, the answer has to be no. This is not because I have anything remotely against science, but simply because we don't have sufficient time. In terms of the age of the sun, in terms of progress or non-progress of human evolution, in terms of humans bringing about their own extinction, and in terms of there not being sufficient energy resources for hundreds or thousands of rockets to leave planet Earth. Here are the 5 questions again. Why is it that Christianity can answer all of them when it is 2,000 years old? Because since the beginning of human civilization, one thing has never changed, and never will change apart from a supernatural intervention: human nature. The first question, where are we? In a complete mess. Obviously, I am quite aware that that's not what the question implies, and science answers it very well. We are one solar system of probably trillions of solar systems in one galaxy of probably quadrillions of galaxies in a universe which for all intents and purposes goes on forever. Well, the Bible could have told Professor Brian that as well. Job 38. You'll have to read this yourself sometime. There are another 2 chapters which also fill the whole screen. Remember what you are looking at here. A poem which is approximately 3,000 years old. Are we alone? Well, probably not. According to the Bible and eyewitnesses who had nothing to do with the Bible, we have already been visited by angels and the Son of God. And if they are not extraterrestrial life forms, Please tell me what they are. And then there are all the prophecies in that same Bible which have already come true. Here is a section from one of them. Listen to another parable. There was a landowner who planted a vineyard. He put a wall around it, dug a winepress in it and built a watchtower. And he rented the vineyard to some farmers and went away on a journey. If the landowner is God, the vineyard is earth, what do you think the wall and the watchtower are? If you build a wall around something, you are either preventing something from getting out or something else getting in. Now apply that to extraterrestrials and work it out for yourself. Who are we? Well, I'll leave that one for science, but again, the Bible has an answer, and it's not very different from the scientific one. According to Psalms, we are dust, and what does science say that all matter is made from? None other than the interplanetary dust and gases from stars which ceased to exist billions of years ago. Why are we here? The most difficult of the five, as every person will have their own answer which applies to themselves and how they make sense of their own life. But if the question is applied globally in the sense of why is the earth here and why is there intelligent life on earth, the Christian answer is because we are all pawns in the divine game. We are the pawns who will bring about our own extinction, and unless the supernatural takes over, we will be no more than stardust, and the universe will carry on without us. If we don't find the idea of being pawns very attractive, then I'm afraid that's just too bad. You will just have to believe in another God, or no God at all. I could describe it as the Bible does, and as Jesus does, as being saved or being born again or living forever for the glory of God in an eternal kingdom, but then what exactly does all that mean? Nobody knows, because it hasn't happened yet. This is the reality of where we are right now. What is our future? The easiest of the five. Virtually every book of the Bible prophesies the future of the world. It's going to be a pretty awful end. But when it's all over, there will be another universe, another dimension of space and time, and well, the rest nobody really knows. The only scientific future for humans appears to be finding another planet before this one is extinguished by its own sun. Again, I don't think there will be sufficient time. There may even not be sufficient energy resources available to leave planet Earth. Do you know how much energy it takes for just one Saturn rocket to leave the Earth's gravitational pull? If you ask me, it appears that the Earth has been deliberately designed to be difficult to leave, and that all other possible planets within reasonable range have been made impossible to live on for a reason. All things considered, we have made a complete mess of this planet in our insatiable search for food and energy sources, and only a fool would think that we would suddenly change if we were given another planet to live on. Humans by nature are conquerors, plunderers, wasters, and one starry-eyed scientist is not going to change that. Just one more thing before I go. I have mentioned the sun several times in this video and how the future of the Earth and the human race depend on its existence. It appears that the Bible knows all about this as well, believe it or not. In 2 places in the Bible it describes the end of the world and prophesies that there will be no sun, and all energy and light will come from God. How did they know? 3,000 years ago.